about training and nutrition that will help you to get rid of unwanted arm fat. And without wasting too much of your time, let's start. So a lot of people who have arm fat or who have belly fat or who have back fat think that fat loss can be localized, or they're looking for training programs and diets that will help to get rid of fat from those specific areas of their bodies. But the thing is that the main reason why people have fat on specific areas of their bodies is not because of bad genes or so, or it's not because they don't do some specific exercises, but it's simply because their overall levels of body fat are too high. And the thing they need to focus on is not to look for solutions that will help them to get rid of fat from those specific areas of their bodies, but they need to focus on how to reduce their overall levels of body fat. And in this video, we'll share you 5 simple tips that will help you to drive your levels of body fat down. So tip number 1 is to create a caloric deficit. So this is really basic stuff, but the thing is that people gain body fat simply because of bad eating habits and bad energy balance. So throughout the years or throughout months, they give their bodies too much energy, and this excess energy becomes transformed into fat, and now these fat stores are stored throughout your whole body. And when you're trying to lose weight, what you want to do is you want to start using those fat stores as a source of energy, and you do that by simply creating a simple energy deficit. And this means that you would give your body less energy that it actually needs. So how do you figure out how many calories does your body actually need? So first of all, go to Google or go to Bing or go to Yahoo and type in caloric calculators, and you will get hundreds of results. So pick top 5 or top 10 calculators, and figure out how many calories does your body actually need. And by this you will have one number, one clear number of how many calories does your body actually need. So the next thing you should do, the next thing you would need to do, is to simply track your daily eating habits, track your usual eating habits. So at least for a day or two, get a piece of paper and a pen and try to write down how much do you eat, how many calories do you get, how many proteins do you get, how many carbohydrates do you get, how many fats do you get. And basically at the end of the day, or if you choose to do this for a longer period of time, at the end of 2 days or maybe at the end of the week, you will have another list of your usual eating habits. So now you will have a number of how many calories do you actually need and how many calories are you actually getting. And I'm guessing that by your usual eating habits, you will give your body way too much energy than your body actually needs, and that is the main reason why you have probably gained body fat. So the first thing you need to do is to simply try to adjust your usual eating habits to the number of calories that your body actually needs. And just by doing so, if you'll maintain the same activity levels, if you will just adjust the number to the actual, if you just adjust your calories to the actual number your body actually needs, you will start losing some body fat. But by doing so, you will start losing body fat slowly. If you want to speed up this whole process, what you need to do is to create an energy deficit and simply give your body less energy than it actually needs. And by doing so, you will force your body to look for other alternative sources of energy. So another reason, tip number 2, is that another reason why people have arm fat, the main reason why people have belly fat, the main reason why people have fat on their thighs is because they don't have enough lean muscle mass. And lean muscle mass is built up with training and good nutrition. So yet again, when you're creating an energy deficit, when you're focusing on reducing your overall levels of body fat, what you want to focus on as well is to making sure that you give your body enough building materials, and these are proteins. So proteins are building blocks of everything within your body: your skin, your nails, your hair, and most importantly your muscle tissue. So when you create a energy deficit, by doing so you can lose lean muscle mass, and that is not the weight that you want to lose. You want to maintain your lean muscle mass, and to avoid losing lean muscle mass, you want to give your body more building materials. So, and by doing so, you will prevent losing loss of lean muscle mass. So what do you need to do? So depending on how much you weigh and where you live, so for each kilogram of body mass, so let's say if you weigh 60 kilograms, try to get at least 2 grams of proteins per day, and by doing so you will prevent the loss of lean muscle mass. So tip number 3 is to avoid direct arm exercises. So yet again, a lot of experts and a lot of gurus on YouTube and on Amazon, they claim that if you want to lose arm fat, or if you want to lose belly fat, or if you want to lose back fat, you need to follow some specific training program that will help you to lose fat from those specific areas of your body. But the thing is that fat loss cannot be localized, and instead of focusing on these small isolated movements, you need to focus on something else. So small isolated movements don't work because of 2 reasons. First of all, fat loss cannot be localized. We have already talked about that. And secondly, focusing and training where you do a lot of small isolated movements is not efficient, and you will learn why in a second. So And the main reason why small, isolated movements is not an efficient way to train is simply because there are much more effective way to train, and that is weight training. So, like I said earlier, the main reason people gain body fat is because of bad energy balance. So they give their bodies more energy than it actually needs, and this excess energy is transformed into fat, and now and as a result of this, people gain body fat. So to start burning body fat, to get rid of unwanted arm fat, you first of all need to create an energy deficit, which means to give your body less energy, and also you want to increase your daily energy expenditure, and you do this by starting to train. And yet again, you can do cardio, you can do circuit training, you can do weight training, you can do cycling, you can play basketball, football, choose any activity that you like. But in my opinion, the single most effective way to train when trying to lose arm fat is to focus on basic compound exercises. Why? Because basic compound exercises make your whole body work really hard. And so imagine that your muscles are like engine. The bigger the engine, the more fuel it needs. So if in your workouts you will focus on big compound movements, you will be burning more energy than you would if you would focus on small isolated movements. And if you will focus on big compound movements, your workouts will be much more efficient. So what kind of exercises am I talking about? I'm talking about exercises like squats, deadlifts, bent-over rows, bench press, military press, pull-ups, triceps extensions, barbell curls, and stuff like that. So simply focus on the basic exercises that were working 20, 30, 40 years ago. So another tip that I want to talk to you about is to do cardio after your weight training sessions. So start burning body fat, you need to create energy deficit, but you also need to do another really important thing. So before your body starts burning body fat, you first of all have to deplete your glycogen stores. And glycogen is the source of energy that is used in your workouts. Every time you use glycogen is the main source of energy that you get from carbs. And you get some carbs, then carbs contain glucose, and glucose is converted into glycogen, and glycogen is stored in your muscles and your liver. So when you're working out, when you're training really hard, you're using glycogen as a source of energy, and eventually your glycogen stores get depleted. And once your glycogen stores depleted, if you will maintain these same energy levels, you will start. Because your glycogen stores will be depleted, your body will start to use fats as a source of energy, and this is when you will start burning body fat. So to lose your arm fat, to drive your levels of body fat down, what you need to do is to do cardio after your weight training sessions. So simply do 10 or 15, maybe 20 minutes of cardio after each weight training sessions, and by doing so you will maximize the amount of fat that you're losing. So that's it for today. That's all I've got for today. If you have any suggestions, or if you want to leave some comments or ask any